Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So we actually are taking a look at Ronin today, which when we look across a sea of red across the markets right now, especially gaming coins, we actually see that Ronin is actually up almost 10% today alone. We're going to be taking a look at a huge announcement, one that we've been waiting for the longest time here for the Ronin ecosystem, why I think it is something that should be on your radar, and why I think it actually is a game-changing announcement again for Ronin here. So if you guys do get value out of the content here, if you want to stay up to date with the videos we put out daily here, if you guys could subscribe to the channel and like the video, your support means a lot. So if we take a look at Ronin, obviously if you're not familiar with what Ronin is at this point, if you're in the crypto space or if you're in the gaming sector, or if you've been following the channel, we are big fans of Ronin here. Obviously you guys know I'm bullish on it, as it is, in my opinion, one of the top gaming coins in the sector. You know, this is something that I would be betting on along the likes of IMX, Beam, Ronin. Obviously, it's a gaming blockchain. They were the founders as well, or the team behind, let's go back to it, Axie Infinity, which, as we all know, was the top gaming project last cycle in 2021. It's kind of the project that literally kicked off crypto gaming back then, and I mean it's still working today, but it goes to show that the team knows what they're doing. Now that is again the short and skinny of Ronin. It is a gaming blockchain with a pretty decent ecosystem. I mean, we look at some of the featured games here. Again, we'll take a look at more of their games here in a moment with the news. We see Aperion, obviously Axie Infinity, Pixels as well. And they have a few other games that are now coming to it, because when we look at what just happened with Ronin, they actually just announced that they went fully open. So it's open Ronin, meaning that anyone can build on Ronin. Now, what is the difference here? Well, if we actually look at Ronin, up until this point, we've talked about this in the past also, that Ronin has been permissioned only, pretty much saying that only approved teams, entities, projects could build on Ronin, whereas stuff like Avalanche, Solana, Base, any project or any team can easily build on those blockchains. Ronin has been the opposite, literally up until today. So before, you had to be approved to be building on Ronin. Again, there was centralized control over who participates, which meant that the ecosystem potentially had more of a slower growth, because again, you don't see that huge spike of projects, a bunch of different projects and attention going onto the ecosystem. They were really selective, which at the same time meant that if something was building on Ronin, it had to be selected and again have permission. So maybe it did add to a level of quality for projects that we saw building on the space, but again, we don't see that really hurting as much as far as stuff like other chains, if that makes sense, versus now with the permissionless network for open Ronin, anyone can join, anyone can build, anyone can participate on Ronin. There's literally no gatekeeping. There's it's going to be more community driven, they say, as well, which also leads to a lot more projects, dApps, everything building on the ecosystem, which again, we're potentially could see a huge spike in growth for the Ronin ecosystem, because now think of it as literally they're opening the floodgates for their blockchain. So again, from this moment forward, they say Ronin is open. We'll go through this tweet here a little bit put out by Ronin as well, saying that anyone can build it on it. They said they're the biggest Web3 gaming blockchain, and I would, we've been saying that for a while. As far as players go, they've definitely had some of the biggest games. I mean, literally Axie Infinity, Pixels was a huge game. I don't know what the player base is like now, but we saw Pixels was huge, over towards the end of 2023, 2024, when they TGE'd. There was a huge player base there as well. And again, because that they were permissioned only, we did see games that launched on Ronin, everyone wanted to kind of play. They were top quality in my opinion. But when we look at it, it was the fourth most used blockchain in 2024. That's a pretty impressive stat. I assume it's behind stuff like Solana, Base, Ethereum potentially, for Web3 gaming maybe potentially, but the fourth most used blockchain in 2024. A lot of over 4 billion in NFT volume, 1.6 monthly active addresses, 17 million Ronin wallet downloads. So, I mean, the players, the wallets, the actual people using the chain is definitely there for sure. And when we look at it, discover games, AI agents, and more on open Ronin. So this is going to potentially open the door again. Now they're not only strictly gaming, whereas I do believe that's still their primary focus. it opens up new projects like AI agents to build on Ronin as well. AI agent infrastructure, AI projects, meme coins, stuff like that to be building on there also, because again they've opened. But when we look at it, existing teams are already wanting to expand onto Ronin. So when we take a look at it, when we blow this up a little bit, also we've already talked about one, Legends of Illumia here, a project that we have followed and we talked about here recently, making the move to expanding onto Ronin. We see Nifty Island, another project we have talked about, Top Hat, again where we tap into that AI agent. Launchpad platforms, Top Hat is going over, Photo Finish from Solana expanding over into Ronin, Pirate Nation, another top tier game as well, along with literally these are 9 projects here that are already making the move to wherever they're coming from. Obviously, whether it's Solana or other chains, Base, whatever, they're going to be expanding into the Ronin ecosystem. And potentially because they know that Ronin, again, they have the active users, they have the players, there's a lot of attention on Ronin. And again, I think it is a slept on blockchain, especially because they have been permission only. Essentially, they've been almost limiting themselves up until this point. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see what this means for Ronin. If we will see a huge incline as far as ecosystem growth, people using the Ronin chain, projects flocking to it. Maybe we see a difference in price action. We'll take a look at that here in a little bit as well. But welcome to Ronin, Proof of Play. So Proof of Play, they're developers of Pirate Nation. They're expanding onto Ronin. Again, they highlight this because one, it's a top tier project, definitely as well, but they're going to be moving on over there. And they, shout out a few other projects also, and then that's pretty much the end of the tweet. But we look at the Ronin gaming empire here. Literally, when we look down here, here are a few popular games that are on Ronin. We look at it, they have Fableborn, which won Best Mobile Game at the Game GG, G3 Awards. Runiverse hit #1 on DApp Radar in 2024. They have another game that literally generated over 1.6 Ronin in trading volume. Pixels Online, which, I mean, again, it went huge. It literally went over 1 million daily active users in 2024. I think a lot of people were obviously farming it for the airdrop early 2024 as well. But again, it was a huge game. Axie Infinity, no introduction really needed there as well. So we look up again what they have going on right now, and I fully expect this ecosystem to obviously build. But again, some quality projects here, Axie Infinity, Kiroro Beast, can never really pronounce that. Fableborn is a huge one. Photo Finish, again, Top Hat is more of the AI, but they're coming over. Pixels, obviously. Legends of Illumia, one of our picks here, obviously. So this is huge for the Ronin ecosystem. If you don't think it is, I think you're wrong. This is totally, respectfully, this is totally huge for the ecosystem here. And we're seeing it up, again, 10%, which is, quite big, for a market cap of this size, especially when we see a lot of other gaming projects, even high caps that are down still heavily. Now we look over the 7-day, it's up 20%, so it is bouncing a little bit. Now when we look over the 1 month, it's down 30%. But again, that is overall the market conditions, gaming coins, especially as we've been covering them. And why we're hitting gaming so much recently for you guys is that literally, I mean, this is the time potentially to be loading up on gaming coins. If there's other narratives like AI agents, other projects you have conviction on, that you have conviction that narrative will run again, whether it's 2025, short term, midterm, long term. This is the time you want to be looking at those narratives. And for me, especially, as you guys know, if you've been around the channel for any amount of time, you know that I'm extremely bullish on gaming. And I think a lot of the projects that we're seeing, hit these key levels here, I didn't think we were going to hit them. A lot of these are entering bear market prices, and I still think we have yet to really see a true gaming run, but I do expect that we will potentially see one in 2025. Obviously not financial advice. Nobody knows for sure whether it's the later half or if something on the first half of 2025, like a launch like Off the Grid, maybe Bloodloop we just recently talked about. Maybe these could be potential catalysts in the short term for crypto gaming as well. But when we look at Ronin, again, we can look at the 1 month here. It literally got down to $1. Now, when we look at the all-time low for Ronin, which was, throughout the bear market, obviously, and we were talking about Ronin, saying that it was a pretty, surefire bet, obviously, because of everything we just covered earlier in the video, initially, being the team and the project, the foundation behind literally what put crypto gaming on the map originally. When we were looking at Ronin here throughout the bear market, it won't show us here, but I mean, almost like $100 million in market cap. It was a no-brainer. Obviously, we rode Ronin from, these low bear market levels all the way up to, I mean, we saw Ronin got super hot, I think partially because of the launch and people grinding out pixels, because pixels paid out huge for a play to airdrop back in Q1 2024, which again, it's on the Ronin blockchain, so there was a lot of attention there as well. And we saw gaming also run overall in around March 2024 as well. But I mean, Ronin got up to about $4.50 here, which is literally 450 exactly for the all-time high. But if we look at the market cap, Ronin got up to over $1 billion. Now Ronin actually, again, when you zoom out here at, we saw gaming initially run Q4 2023. It shot up quick, again, from about $100 million in market cap all the way up to 1.3 billion. If you look over the 1 year, again, we know that gaming was not hot over the summertime, and Ronin's chart actually looks, in my opinion, pretty healthy here, especially for a project like this. Looks like hasn't dumped 80% over the 1 year as something as volatile as like a micro or low cap, especially in the gaming sector. So I still am quite bullish on Ronin, and I've said it for the longest time. If you're looking for exposure to the gaming sector, but you don't want to get into the nitty gritty of individual games or game studios, anything in those lower market cap plays like sub 100 million. If you just want broad exposure with pretty decent upside, a little bit, maybe potentially more upside than something like an IMX or a Mutable. Now, to me, it has always been between Ronin and Beam. Obviously, we see Beam is also down huge right now, but when we look across the two, especially the fact that Ronin, again, has now gone open network, meaning that the floodgates are open, it's tough between the two, but I think that Ronin definitely, in my opinion, might have a little bit more upside than something like Beam because they've been out for a lot longer, they're permissionless, and I don't think we've been able to see what Ronin's capable of because they've been literally limiting themselves, in my opinion, up until today. So that is the update here, for Ronin here. But the point is, if you're looking for a project, just give you broad exposure to the gaming sector with some pretty decent upside. I think personally, again, not financial advice. You have to make your own decision, do your own research. But I think that Ronin is a no-brainer, even though we are seeing it up 20%. Again, realize this project was literally at 450, and it was about double from the price of right now. I mean, we're down 70%, but as far as market cap goes, it was about double the market cap that we see today here. So Ronin's still a solid option. Again, gaming is not running right now, so could it cool off a little bit? Potentially, but again, will it get back to this dollar range? Totally on the cards here, but before this poor market conditions, I mean, literally back in December, this was about $2.50 roughly. So again, I think we see Ronin take out its previous all-time highs in both price and market cap because it literally was not that long ago in the cycle, so much so, and we haven't seen gaming run. So when gaming does run, and I mean a true gaming run, I especially do think that Ronin is one of those flagship projects in the gaming space that you can't be ignoring, especially if you are bullish on gaming. So either way, guys, that is the update on Ronin. This is something that we've been talking about for the longest amount of time now because we knew that eventually Ronin would go open network, meaning that their floodgates are open, anyone can build, and as we've already seen and went over, not only any new projects can build, but existing projects can now flock over and expand within the Ronin ecosystem. So it's huge, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think of Ronin? Is it something that you're personally betting on for the cycle? If not, would you pick something like a Beam or Mutable X over Ronin? And if so, why would that be? Let me know in the comments below. Give me some points there. Let's have a conversation. I try to answer all your guys' comments below. And thank you guys for taking the time to watch the video. Hopefully you guys got value out of it. Hopefully maybe this is the first time you're hearing of the update of Ronin, or maybe you didn't even know this whole time that they were permissioned only. Either way, if you guys got value out of the video here today, if you guys could like the video, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and share the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.